Hey, welcome back to the next chapter. I'm B9. This is chapter 5, Damaged Goods. So, I want to talk a little bit about what exactly I mean by damaged goods because there's going to be a lot of different meanings in this video. And obviously, I've been focusing on talking about what it's like as a single father, but this one I think might kind of go for single mothers, people in relationships. I don't know. I'm just going to kind of go with it and see what we end up with. But the reason I wanted to talk about damaged goods is because for a long time, over the last few years, I've, like I've said in other videos, I like to be self-aware. And I can look at myself and I can see myself differently than I used to. I can interact with people and realize that I'm not doing it the same way that I used to. I can feel a certain way about something and realize that I didn't used to feel that way. And when I came up with the idea for damaged goods as a topic, it was because I was looking at myself as damaged goods. The years of mental abuse and dealing with the narcissist, the manipulation and the control, the things like that have left me scarred, battered and bruised. I've been beat up, torn down, and I'm not the same person that I used to be. And it's hard for someone to move on and move forward in their life when they've got these problems or these issues that create problems for them and make them damaged goods. So I today had to take my daughters to see their mom for the first time in months. They saw her. And the process of making this happen for them, it wasn't necessarily a difficult process for me, more of a frustration than anything, but it was a difficult process for them. Um, and then I started to see that, are they being damaged? And then it dawned on me that the root cause of this damage is their mom, is the ex. She's the one that is damaged goods. And what I mean by that is she's had this crazy life where, for all intents and purposes, I could say her mom is probably a narcissist. Um, she's a very self-centered woman. She manipulates her children. She thinks she's above everyone. She thinks she's better than everyone. She's somewhat of a snob. And she tries to hide this behavior behind religion. She pretends to be this perfect Christian, but nothing she does or says or but how she acts walks in the faith of God. And listening to the stories of how she treated her kids when they were young, leaving them alone, not taking care of them, leaving them to fend for themselves, things like this, it made me realize that she damaged her children. And with a couple of them are great people, they've got good lives, they're happy, but for the most part, they've all had some kind of struggles, and they all stem from the mother. So when I look at my ex and I think about all these things, and right now maybe shouldn't be a good idea for me to be doing this video because I'm really irritated and I'm pissed off because my kids are hurting, and my job is to protect them. And I feel like I shouldn't have to protect them against their own mother. But I do, because she's not right. She has issues. She's not mentally stable. And it all goes back to her mom because she acts just like her mom. And so I have to figure out a way to make sure that my kids don't act just like their mom. And as I've told you many times before, I definitely don't want them acting like me. Now, I'm on a totally different end of the spectrum. I'm not out here acting crazy or doing stupid things, and at least not anymore. I had my share of dumb shit when I was young, but not to the extent that her mom is, or their mom is. And so, looking at who she is and where she came from, you know, she's got this narcissistic behavior. She's got bipolar episodes, or has bipolar episodes. She, to me, shows that she's a sociopath. I mean, she's just, there's so many things that I could say about this woman. And I can't think of one good thing to say right now. And I'm one of those people that I try to look for the good in people. I give everybody a chance, but I've given this woman so many chances and so many opportunities that she's wasted because she can't move past who she is or who she was. She's stuck in this little box, and she doesn't know how to get out of it. And she can only function inside this box. And if you try to remove her from this box, if you try to show her that there are other options, or that you can live better than what you're doing, or you have the opportunity to do this, do that, or whatever, then you get resistance, and you get pushback, and you get anger, and you get beat down verbally, mentally, you get called names. And I'm not just talking about she does this to me, she's doing this to our kids. She literally got upset over a restaurant with my kids last night, or my oldest daughter last night. And he goes, today's her birthday. She wanted our kids to take her out to dinner for her birthday. Now, she didn't wait to see if they had anything planned for her. She didn't care. She sent them a text, do you want to take me out to dinner tomorrow for my birthday? And not knowing what she was asking, they said yes. They were okay with that. Sure, whatever. And they're telling me about it. And I'm like, well, she's asking because she wants you to take her to dinner. She wants you to buy her dinner. And that's not a problem either. Under normal circumstances, I would give them money to take her to dinner, or I would pay the tab, whatever. I'm not complaining about that. It was the way that she did it, and it's also the fact that she has made a choice. Like I discussed before, she made a decision to choose a man over her kids. And so she's been absent from their lives for 2 months. And now she thinks because it's her birthday, she's entitled to have the treatment of a mother when she hasn't done anything motherly and I don't know how long. But in her head, what she's doing is okay. She thinks it was all right for her to send that message. And then she says, well, can I pick the restaurant? And the kids unknowingly said, sure, it's your birthday, why not? And so she picks an expensive restaurant. And again, it's not about the money, because I don't have a problem with them taking their mom out to dinner. but she intentionally picked an expensive restaurant because she doesn't look at it as, oh, he's going to pay for this. She was doing this because she expected my daughter to pay for it out of her own money. That she saves up her little bit of money that she gets so that she can buy the things that she wants. And she's learning how to manage money. And so, because my daughter said, "Isn't that place kind of expensive?" she was told, "You shouldn't be worried about somewhere being expensive," or "You're too young to worry about someplace being too expensive." And then she was told to watch her mouth. She told this child to watch her mouth and that she was too young to be worried about something being too expensive. At what age is it appropriate for a child to realize that something is too expensive? To me, in my mind, the fact that a 14-year-old kid is thinking solidly enough that she understands that some things are outside her budget and she's trying to be financially responsible is a good thing. That's intelligence, but not to her. She didn't see it that way because, again, she's got damaged goods. She's not mentally capable of looking past what she wants and seeing what's logical. Now, her focus was solely on, it's my birthday. I want what I want and I don't care. And so she got upset when our daughter asked if that was expensive and told her to watch her mouth and blah, blah, blah. And so our daughter made a recommendation on somewhere else that was within her budget. And she got upset about that. "You told me I could pick. But fine, whatever, we can go there. Blah, blah, blah." She then tells the child, "I'll meet you there at 7." Now, this is a franchise restaurant. Doesn't tell the kid which one to meet them at 7. So finally, we got that out of her today. And then we're there, we're waiting for her. And she's the one planning this, and then she shows up late. First, she texts saying she was going to be a few minutes late, and then she was late for being late. And she made this big deal about going to dinner with the kids and seeing her kids and claiming that she missed them. But according to them, the entire time, excuse me, I forgot to turn off the volume on my watch. The entire time they're there, she's focused on her phone, messaging someone. So you want your kids to make this big deal out of your birthday. You want to spend time with your kids on your birthday, but yet you're not paying attention to your kids on your birthday who are taking you out to dinner after they haven't seen you in 2 months. Where in a normal person's head does that make sense? How can it make sense? It doesn't. So I'm getting off track because I'm pissed off. So, damaged goods. This woman has all kinds of mental health issues. She has other issues, and today I was questioning if she was on something because she when she got out of her car, she didn't look right. I can't say if she was or she wasn't. I didn't talk to her. I just saw her. That was enough for me. So my kids are upset because the reason why they haven't seen her for 2 months is because she had a boyfriend who appeared right away to be unfit to be around them, or erratic behavior, irrational thought process, um, violent tendencies, verbally and apparently physically. Like I mentioned, apparently he shoved her in front of our kids. She claims to have broken up with him over a month ago. And, I'm sitting there. I decided just to wait in my truck while they had dinner with her. And I look over, the passenger side seat's laid down like somebody's been sitting in it, leaning back. You know how we do. We lay back and chill in the passenger seat. We riding. We don't care. So a man's obviously been riding in the car. Then the kids see her texting, and she's texting the guy that she claims she broke up with. So now they feel like they've been lied to. And now they feel like they were used and manipulated. And what do I do in that situation? Because they're right. They were used, they were manipulated. And I knew that that's what was happening. And I try to prepare them for it. But it makes it doesn't take away the difficulty of seeing them upset and seeing them hurt. I hate to see that they're being hurt by anyone, let alone their own fucking mom. Like, it makes no sense. She's so damaged up here that she doesn't understand that she's damaging them. And then I stop and I look at where I'm at mentally. I'm incapable of even wanting to enter a relationship right now because I've got like PTSD from being in this relationship with her. And she sent me a text a few weeks back, like at the beginning of August. You should know what I'm going through. You were in love with me. And I'm like, no, I wasn't. That was stupidity. And I think I mentioned this in the last episode. I had this false hope that something good was going to happen, that I was building a family, and I didn't stop to see what was in front of me because the blinders were on. It wasn't love. I was in love with the dream. I was in love with the thought because it's something that I had been planning for my entire life. And I can look at it now and I can tell that it wasn't love because I've been in love before. It's been 20 years, but I was in love with a woman, a good woman that is a great mom now. And she would have made a great parent to my kids if everything had worked out. But I was too young at the time and immature to realize what I had. And that's on me. And I can live with that. And I'm happy for her and where she is in her life now. But when when my ex tells me, oh, you loved me, and I stop and I'm like, well, when I was in love 20 years ago versus my so-called love for you, they're totally different. They were different feelings. They sounded different. Even saying it sounds different. And when I remember those feelings from 20 years ago, and then I think about those feelings from 5 years ago or even 10 years ago, they're not the same. They don't feel the same. I didn't feel the same. I wasn't the same. And so now I look at where I'm at and what do I do with this shit? Like I was told you're not shit without me, or you'll never find anybody better than me. I think a lot of us guys have heard that. I mean, there's probably a lot of women who've been told that by narcissists. You'll never find anybody better than me. You can't do better. Nobody wants you. You're a piece of shit. This, that, or whatever. And then next thing you know, we're damaged goods. We've got these mental roadblocks that we've put up because we're trying to safeguard our brain. We're trying to protect ourselves. And then And the natural instinct of the brain is to try to protect the heart. We don't want to get emotionally attached to somebody. We don't want to let people in. We don't want people to feel for us. We don't want any of that because we know what's attached to that. There's going to be degrading. There's going to be mental abuse. There's going to be beating you up mentally. And I'm sorry if I'm fumbling my words because none of this is prepared. I'm saying this literally all from the gut. This is all coming out because I'm mad. That maybe this is what I need to do. So as you can see, I'm damaged goods. I cannot interact with this woman even without me interacting. I did not talk to her. I'm going through the kids. Like they interacted with her and I'm pissed off because of their experience. Because I don't want them to become damaged goods. It's bad enough she already fucked me up. I don't need her fucking up my kids. I got two really good, intelligent kids. Both of them are sweethearts and feel with their hearts. My youngest is a little bit too much like me and it scares the shit out of me. You know, she doesn't, she's putting up this wall. She's 10. She's not even 11 yet. She'll be 11 in a few months. She's 10 years old and she's already putting up this wall. She's created this roadblock with her mom. And she's stubborn. She's stubborn like me. So she's not going to be the one to knock that wall down. And at this point, I don't think there's anything that their mom can do to knock that wall down. And then my oldest daughter, she wears her heart on her sleeve. This is one of the most loving and caring people in the world. She is, at one point I would have said she's very naive to reality and how people treat each other. But I can't say that anymore because she has experienced so much with her interactions with her mom that she's been forced to grow up faster than she needs to be. And she's seeing things and recognizing behavioral patterns, and she's recognizing the manipulation and the mind games. And as she keeps telling me, she's being gaslit. She shouldn't have to feel that way at her age. But she does. And so now I've got to deal with my damaged goods. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but apparently my dog is snoring. So I've got to deal with my damaged goods, and then I got to figure out how to reverse the damage that she's doing to them. And then that's when we get back to validation. Listening to how they feel, trying to understand, showing empathy. And it's not even that, I talked about this in the episode on validation about, listening and not necessarily having to agree. But I agree with them. Their feelings are valid. What they're saying is true. It's not that they're making these things up. It's the reality of the situation. And so how do I fix that? How do I solve those problems? How do I make sure that they end up on the right path and they don't end up like her, or they don't end up like me? Because I can tell you right now, it'll be over my dead body that they end up with somebody that's going to manipulate and use them the way that I was. I'm not going to let that happen. And I'm not going to continue to deal with this woman treating these kids this way. And if that means taking it to the courts and legal action, fine. I can do that. I have no problem. I will fight for my kids till the day I die. She implied um, when she told me that she was getting back together with this guy a couple months ago, she implied that he could beat my ass. I grew up in the hood. I've been in fights before. I'm not scared of shit. I have yet to meet somebody that scares me. There are things that scare me. Dying and leaving my kids with her scares me. Getting in a fight don't scare me. If we can want to take it to the streets, we can take it to the streets. Been there, done that, not afraid. But see, she plays in a different realm. She don't want to take it to the street. She don't want to take it to the courtroom. She wants to take it to the brain. She wants to attack you mentally. She wants to try to beat you mentally into submission so she gets what she wants. And she can't do that to me anymore, so she's doing it to her kids. And at what point do you stop and realize that some things just aren't worth it? Those material things that you think you want. Because all this today, it wasn't about going to dinner and seeing them. It was about her getting a gift because it was her birthday. And if it was up to me, I wouldn't have bought her shit. Because you call or send a text the day before your birthday. You haven't texted these kids in over 10 days. Haven't called them in over 10 days. And then all of a sudden you want to go to dinner. You haven't seen them in 2 months. You went a whole month without talking to either of them. But you think that you're motherly enough and deserving enough to be taken to dinner and to be given a gift. And then she told my daughter, she said, when we go out to dinner on your birthday, do you pay? No, they don't pay. I pay. When we go out to dinner on my birthday, if we even do anything on my birthday, because it's not a big deal to me, I pay. And so today, when she wanted them to take her to dinner, I paid. I'm not going to let my kid waste her hard-earned money on somebody who has neglected to be a parent. Now, I'll give her this $40 to $50 or whatever it was that they spent to take her to dinner if that makes her feel special. If that gives her the little bit of respect she thinks she deserves as their biological mother. I don't care. But the fact of the matter is that for the last 2 months, the last 5 years, hell, the last 14 years, what have you really done that was so motherly? You gave birth twice. I was there. I remember. You did their hair when they were little. Things like that. Picked out clothes, bought a bunch of stuff that they didn't need, toys, clothes, all kinds of stuff. I'll give you credit for that. But on the things that actually matter, the things that they remember or they're gonna remember, where were you? How many things have you missed? And she tries to say that in my old career, I worked 60 hours a week and I was an absent father. How I was absent when I was working to take care of them, I was in the same household as them. I was coming home, spending time with them. I tucked them into bed every night. I kissed them on the forehead every morning before I left for work. I was an absent father. Sorry, I wanted this to be more of a raw, uncut, unedited type of thing, but the computer stopped recording for some reason. Um, so this is the second half of my little rant about damaged goods. I guess it's more of a bitch session. Um, but yeah, she, I was an absent father, but she doesn't see what she's doing right now as being absent. She didn't tell them when she's going to see them again or say, hey, I want to get you next week. She didn't come up to my window and say, can I get the girls this day or that day? She told them she was cleaning their sheets for the next time they come over, but didn't specify when that would be. But again, they won't be there if that guy is there. So I've gotten a little bit off topic. My goal was to talk about damaged goods, and so I'm going to try to stay on that. But as you can see, part of what I mean is that I've got this frustration, I've got these issues, these roadblocks, and this anger that it's hard for me to move past when I'm dealing with her or when I'm witnessing what she's doing to my kids and how she's damaging them. It's not easy to sit back and watch and you're gonna say, oh, well, I can't do this or I can't do that because the court says I can't. Because I went to the SMILE program and I listened and I did what I was supposed to do. I did everything that the court ordered me to do. I did everything I'm supposed to do as a responsible parent. But when you're the only responsible parent and you don't have someone that you can co-parent with, it becomes fucking frustrating. And when that co-parent is causing problems in the child's life and it's no longer benefiting the child to be involved with that parent, then the only option that you have left, the only option that I have left, is to do the things that I need to do to terminate those interactions. So what exactly does that mean? Does it mean I have to take her to court? The easy process would be for her to sign an affidavit saying that she surrenders her rights and get it notarized. But she's not going to do that. She won't do that because if she does that, then to her, that's not giving up her rights to the kids. That's her giving up her rights to me. Even though those rights were given up 5 years ago. She thinks that they're this tool, and I've said this before, they aren't kids to her. They are a weapon to use against me. Everything about it is focused on me. And maybe that sounds a little narcissistic on my part, but the fact of the matter is that she weaponizes her own children to take out revenge on me because I apparently took away her whole world. Because I got tired of the bullshit. I got tired of being mistreated, disrespected, excuse me, disrespected. I'm sorry. Like I said, this is raw, uncut, unedited. I'm gonna fuck up. Deal with it. If you don't like what I'm saying, turn the shit off. She was treating me like shit on a daily basis, treating me like all I meant to her was money. And so it has created a lot of mixed emotions and it has created a lot of frustration. And so that's why I talk. I get my feelings out because the old me would bottle that shit up until I came to a boil and then I fucking explode. Which is kind of what I'm doing right now. But this is very mild mannered for me. And if you ask my friends and family who watch this video, they're going to say I'm being pretty well behaved. Because I haven't said shit to her yet. I don't know if I'm going to, because I don't want to make things worse for the kids. Because if I say something to her, she will respond and say what she has to say to me, but then her next reaction is to attack them. Why'd you tell him this? Why'd you do that? You're causing all this problem. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. That's not what I was trying to say. You misunderstood. You shouldn't have said this, blah, blah, blah. They've got a right to talk to me. I'm their father. I'm their caregiver. I'm their provider. I'm their protector. I'm the one that's there every single fucking day. So they've got that right to talk to me. So yeah, I'm damaged. It's hard for me to see myself in a relationship where I know I have trust issues. I get on these apps or whatever that people keep telling me, oh, you need to try this app or you need to try that app so you can meet somebody. I don't want to be on a fucking app. I just want to get out and meet people and see where it goes. But when you look on these apps and they're like, oh, no drama. I want to be able to travel or whatever. Well, I got 2 kids that are in school. I'm not traveling. And I got 2 kids with a crazy ass drama. So my life is full of drama. I've been verbally assaulted and mentally abused for years. So I come with drama. I come with baggage. So that shit don't work for me. The whole online dating shit. I'd rather sit down and talk to somebody and explain my situation face to face. Yep. I've got some baggage. Yep. I'm very protective of myself at this point. I'm very protective of my kids. I have gone through a lot. Like I said earlier, maybe I got PTSD. It's easy to explain that stuff in person and for somebody to understand and be able to accept that in person. I've done it once or twice, actually, I guess, where I've been able to talk face to face with a woman about where I'm at in my life. Now, granted, the last relationship I was in, I thought I was in a better place than I was. And so I was excited about this relationship. But then I started to gradually recognize these issues, not with her, the woman that I was dating, not with the relationship, but issues with me. Things that I needed to work on, things that I didn't realize I had stewing inside of me. And it wasn't fair to keep her in a relationship like that, where I had all these mixed emotions and these things that I needed to work out that I didn't realize initially. I thought I was good. I thought I was doing fine. And it's not like I miss my ex. I don't miss her at all. Never have. Sometimes I think I miss the idea of having someone to talk to or having someone asleep in the bed next to you, things like that. But I don't miss her as a person. There's no specific thing about her that I can say I miss. Hell, the weirdest thing is sometimes I miss my wedding ring. Sometimes I get that phantom feeling that it's still there, and then I miss wearing my ring. But I don't miss what came along with the ring. Again, damaged goods. So I have to work through all these emotions. I have to work through all these feelings. And it's tough because while I'm trying to figure myself out, the kids are going through this thing and I've got to try to figure them out. But how can I help them with their emotions when I'm struggling with mine? And I think as parents, that's a natural thing that we've got to kind of put on this pretend face mask and try to make everything fine for the kids. And then we're really hurting on the inside, or we're dealing with these demons on the inside, and we're trying not to let them see it. But they get to a point where when they're old enough, they start to recognize that. Like today, one of the things I had to tell my oldest was like, look, when you go in here and you do this, she's gonna say something bad about me. Just let it go. You don't need to try to defend me. And her response to that was, well, it's kind of hard for me not to try to want to stick up for you when I know the truth and when I see these things. Again, I've got some intelligent kids, and I'm proud of that. And then, that's another thing that kind of frustrates me. The kids started school this week, and today my daughter, she's already on student council. She's in choir. She's taking some advanced courses, doing all this. And I guess the choir has their own little council to figure out different activities or events that they want to be in. And she got elected. She's the only freshman in her choir that got elected to this council. And she didn't even get to tell her mom about it. She didn't ask them anything other than, did you start school and how is school? She didn't give them a chance to talk about what was going on with school. Apparently, she just took pictures and sent them to the boyfriend. And that concerns me too. Like, why the fuck are you taking pictures of my kids and sending them to this guy? I don't know if she's trying to impress him and make him think, oh, I'm a good mom. I don't know. But that might be the thing that makes me snap and go, what the fuck was your problem tonight? If I decide to say something to her. Because again, if I say something, then it falls back on them. And then I've got to deal with that. Yeah, this really did turn into a bitch session, and it wasn't meant to be that. But again, the idea was to talk about damaged goods, and I guess you can see how damaged I am. And hopefully, I can figure out my shit so I can figure out theirs. Because I really don't want them to feel the way that I feel or go through the things that I've gone through. Because relationships shouldn't be this difficult. It shouldn't be hard to be a child and have a relationship with your mom or have a relationship with your dad or whatever. You know, my mom and I don't always agree on things. Just, was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. I was talking to my youngest about something that she said that I didn't want her saying. And while I'm talking to her, my mom starts to try to butt into it. And she wants to try to tell me her opinion. And it's like, yeah, let's talk about that later. I'm talking to my kid right now. I'm disciplining her. You had your way of doing things. I understand that and I respect that. But this is how I want to handle this situation. And we've had this conversation before. Like, look, you just got to let me do it without interrupting me because she's undermining me and she doesn't realize that she's doing it. And then when I try to point it out to her, then she gets mad at me. And then she's like, well, you don't want to listen. It's not that I don't want to listen. It's just that the timing is not right. You shouldn't stop me from parenting because you want to parent me. You got to have faith that you raised me right and that I'm going to do my best to raise them right. And if you have something that you don't agree with, talk to me about it in private. Don't do it in front of the kids, because again, that's undermining. And she's old school, so she doesn't get it. She looks at is that she's my mom and I should listen. And so sometimes we don't agree all the time, and that's fine. But we still have that relationship. I don't see my dad all the time. I haven't seen my dad in a couple years because of COVID. I haven't talked to him very much. We don't talk every day or every other day. Sometimes we might go months without talking. But that's just the type of relationship that we have. Now, these kids aren't used to that type of relationship with their mom. They used to see her once a week. They used to be at her house every other weekend. They're used to being able to text and call her and get a response from her. And now all that's gone because she made this decision. Now she's going to try to paint the picture that it was my decision. And granted, I gave her the ultimatum. Yep. I told her she needed to make a decision, but she's the one that made that decision. She made the wrong decision for the wrong reasons, and that falls on her. But these kids are going to grow up to resent this woman. And, when you talk about girls growing up with problems, everybody always tries to say, though, that this girl has daddy problems. Well, I'm worried about my girls having mommy problems. Because daddy's straight when it comes to them. Daddy handles his business when it comes to them. Daddy can focus and function and provide and educate and take care of them. I can put my shit to the side for them. I can forget my demons for a few minutes for them. She's not capable of doing that. In her head, she only cares about her. She only focuses on her. She can't empathize with them. She can't sympathize with them. She's incapable of caring about anyone or anything other than herself. And again, yes, she's damaged goods. She was damaged before I met her. She's been damaged since I left her. She's probably going to be damaged for the rest of her life. But I'm bound and determined that I'm going to fix myself. And I'm not going to continue to let my past with her damage who I am today. I've done a pretty good job of working through all of my shit. And yeah, there's still work to be done. And part of that is doing this podcast is to help me work through some of that. I've got work to do. But I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it quick. I'm going to do it sooner than later because I need to get myself straight so that I can focus on my kids and make sure that they're not damaged goods. I think I kind of got off topic from what I was trying to say just a few minutes ago, but yeah. Life's a bitch, man. When you're trying to get things straightened out and you're trying to raise a family and you want to give them everything, and not just in the sense of material things. I mean, you want to give them everything in the sense of providing them with stability and educating them on life and preparing them for life and instilling values that mean something, guiding them, helping them to be a better person, showing them that there are ways to do things right and wrong. Those are the things that I'm talking about. Those are the things that are important. Those are the things that I want for my kids. Those are the things that I need to be able to give them. And in order for me to do that, I've got to fix myself. I've got to return those damaged goods to where I got them from, or throw them away, whatever. Yeah, throwing them away is probably a better way to put it, because I don't want to return them to where I got them from. Because I don't want anything to do with where I got those damaged goods from. But I guess I'll call that a wrap. You guys have listened to me bitch enough. But I would say, if you feel like you've got a problem, or you've got damaged goods, or you're working through feelings, if you're not already in counseling, get into counseling and get yourself taken care of. And if you need somebody to talk to, comment on this video. Let me know, and I'll try to reach out, and maybe we can help each other. You know, if you look at the YouTube channel, there is an email address on there. Email me. As soon as I see it, if I'm able to respond or give you good advice, believe me, I'll try. I've been through a lot. I've seen a lot. I've done a lot. And I'm going to continue to go through some things. But I'm always trying to figure it out. I'm always trying to get better. And if I can help somebody else, then I'll definitely try. So that's it for me for now. I'll catch you on the next episode, or the next chapter, rather.